to the cloud. All right, so I'm going to call the meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Committee to order. And we have two items on the agenda, one of which is under executive session, and the first of which I apologize to Sam, our dutiful clerk, because I did not put approval of minutes on the meeting, but we will be meeting shortly in the next couple of weeks, and then we will get that squared away. We have I should say that it's 3:11 p.m. on the 22nd of August. The first item is our application to the CPAC, Community Preservation Act Committee, to move the community housing money from the CPA funds to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. And I'd sent all of you a copy of the application that I had drafted, and I'm just wondering, I think there are a couple of issues we ought to chat about, and just wanted to know if there's any other feedback related to that matter.
I thought it was pretty good, Al, in terms of a generic application. And my only question is, I mean, CPC may come back and say it's not enough detail, but I think it does give them enough sense of what we're going to do. And it's certainly consistent with the CPA guidelines. So if they'll buy that, I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah, I think the important thing is to get something on file. You know, we then have 7 months to essentially haggle.
Okay.
When was the last time this happened? The request was made? It's not made every year?
I don't believe it has been made in the recent past, maybe the last. There was one movement of funds 2 or 3 years ago. Is that right, Kathy?
I mean, close enough. So Marguerite, 3 different articles were approved for 3 different town meetings to move it, and then CPC didn't want to move it. We got that resolved last year. We did a report for them, and then they did move it. So they moved it during this past fiscal year, $200,000. So there's three different buckets got moved for 3 years recently.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
And is this like a standing, this will be a standing annual thing at town meeting if we get it right, just to have moved over whatever has been collected?
Yeah, we hope.
It should be, but yeah, there are a number of communities that simply sweep the money over every year without any application.
No town meeting vote, because Jay keeps saying, he's told us all along, there's got to be a town meeting vote for this every year.
Yeah, well, yes,
But
I think
for some towns it's automatic. Basically, at town meeting, it's a standing warrant
Okay,
article.
it says, okay, so that's different.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's what I meant, a standing
So
warrant.
standing warrant article.
Yeah.
So will this be, is that, we're gonna need one of those too, right? This is
Yeah.
Well, this is
basically that.
this is the first one. This will be the first one. If
Okay,
they
so
leave.
yeah, so whatever we have here will be hopefully just take it and change the date and put it in.
So we want to move everything that's cumulative, which is much more than 1 year, over with this, right? That's what we want them to agree to. Then from that point on, every year, whatever goes into the community housing bucket, we want moved over to the trust.
Okay, so my second question is the 4 buckets that the CPA money covers, does it stipulate what portion of the money that's collected goes into each bucket?
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
bylaw does.
Yeah, CPA
10%.
Act
So
says
what percentage, so 25% goes
10.
into housing?
10%, I believe.
And where was that set?
I think that's state law.
CPA law. Yeah.
Okay,
There's a percentage for each bucket, and then there's an administrative bucket too, or a
Okay.
general bucket.
So there's 3 buckets, right?
yeah. 4.
No,
Four,
there's
okay.
3. You can use, so there's actually 3 buckets.
Oh,
which
okay.
is historic.
Recreation and housing.
Well, it's actually open space and housing. And then you can use CPA money for recreation, but there's not a bucket for it.
Okay.
Oh, because it's here on their application as a bucket.
Yeah. Don't you see 3 buckets?
No, 4.
4.
What do they call the 4th one?
Recreation.
Okay, so
Recreation.
never mind. Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
No, but I think this is important because another thing they have in the application is wanting a memorandum of understanding, and my understanding is that you can't have a memorandum of understanding between one town department or group and another.
Because
Yeah.
you're bargaining with yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, but that is in their
Yeah.
their
Well,
requirement is
Freddie,
that you
Freddie made
prepare
that
and-
up. That's where
Yeah.
that came from. Other towns don't have that, so. But
It's
that's another issue.
exactly.
think
All right,
that-
I'll leave it alone. Anyway, okay, so this is good. So we're entitled to 10% of everything that comes in every year. Okay.
Oh, that bucket, that's where it goes. Now, and then the other, if it's 45, the other 55%, is it
Yeah.
10, 10, 10, 10, 4? It could still be used for it,
Yep.
but it's not required to go in.
So the minimum
Yeah.
is
Minimum
10%. Okay, and what are the other buckets? Open space is what percentage? Roughly
10.
10,
Historic,
and
historic,
historic is 10?
yeah.
Yep.
And then they
And
put
then-
the admin, they put 5% in the admin bucket, which is what they pay Freddie from.
Okay, and then recreation. Okay, so I'm getting like 40%.
45. with it.
45 and then 50, so the 55 can then go for anything, right? It's unrestricted.
Okay,
The,
so
the
for-
55 can go for any of those
Okay.
purposes.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm sure 12 people are going to ask that during town meeting. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the one question, I guess, is the last paragraph in the exhibit, which basically says that any interest we earn on the funds, even though they originated from the CPA, can be used for all purposes, that they are unrestricted.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a red flag, Al. I
Yeah.
guess.
I won't call you wrong. I put it in there just so we make sure we discussed
Yeah.
it.
I think it makes sense, but I think that's something that they will question and talk about, and I frankly not sure we really need it. So I bracketed it there when I
Yeah.
sent some feedback to you saying, I don't think I'd include it unless there's some reason that I'm missing that it should go in there.
I agree with Sam.
Yeah, okay. I do too. It was in my original draft, and so I thought
Yeah.
I'd put it and make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
It
I
is a-
think delete
It's a
it.
relevant thought, but to me, it's potential
Okay.
flashpoint from.
All right. So what I'm going, what
Can I
I,
just jump
Oh,
in
go
with
ahead.
one quick edit? Item 10, management.
yep,
That sentence, it says the responsibility for oversight of any project funded by the Affordable Housing Trust Fund will be the responsibility of the trustees of affordable housing, blah, blah. I would just take the first responsibility for out, and I would say oversight of any project funding by the Affordable Housing will be the responsibility of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Committee.
send me an email with that language and I'll put it in.
Okay, and then the other part is it primary oversight or is it total oversight? In other words, is CPC going to be able to jump in
No.
there?
I'd say it's oversight.
Okay, just oversight. All right. Okay, done.
Okay, yeah, if you send me that and I'll
Yep.
put it in.
Yep.
Okay, the two other things that I'm doing related to this application is I placed this application on or actually I've asked Kathy to put this on the agenda for our 27th meeting. So that we can indicate that we have the support of the select board. And I have contacted Doug Mance and given him a draft copy asking for the support of Shopsy as well.
Good. Okay.
And it's on there.
Pardon?
It's
Yeah,
on there.
okay.
Okay,
All right.
now I just want to go back, just to be totally accurate. So I'm just looking at the warrant from last year. So the state law may say 10% rec, but we don't do it though. We only have the 3 buckets. We only do open space, historic, community, and admin. So we do
Okay.
10, 10, 10, 5, as far as
Okay.
what we appropriate at town meeting.
Okay, because it
We
is
don't
on
have
their
We
application.
don't have a rec bucket.
It's on their application though, Kathy.
Well, I believe you, but I'm just telling you, I'm looking at the warrant. So we just don't,
Okay.
we don't have that bucket.
All right, you got it.
Okay, it may be that they appropriated that money directly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then what I think would make sense would be to have the committee go on record with a vote recommending that we file the application. It is due by the 31st, that we file the application with the CPAC with the edits that we've discussed here, which is dropping the last sentence or the last paragraph and including Marguerite's edits to the management section.
Also move.
Okay,
Second.
Yep. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, roll call vote. Sam,
Yes?
Marguerite,
Yes,
Kathy?
Aye.
Hamilton's aye. Okay, so the next matter is to move to executive session for the purpose of discussing a negotiation related to the purchase of real property, and I see that there's no one else on, so I'm going to, actually, we have to do the vote first.
so
and
I'll
then
do
stop
so
the recording.
moved.
Okay, before we do that, just one more admin thing. So if everybody remembers that one of the things that this entity's got to do every year is give CPC a report showing the activity in the Affordable House Trust for the past year, and also making it clear what portion of that money would have to go back to CPC if we didn't use it appropriately. So we hadn't been done, that report hadn't been done for years and years and years. So we got it all caught up last year. That's why they agreed to move over that money once that report got done. I just sent them the one for the year ending 6/30/24. Carla looked at it, she agrees. Freddie thanked me profusely, said she agrees. That's going to the state. They've got to file that with the state with their report. So we're caught up as far as what we've got to give them for that too. I just want to make sure everybody knew that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion to move to executive session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition of a negotiation for the acquisition of real property, which in the opinion of the chair would be detrimental to the town's interest if we did not discuss in executive session?
So move.
Okay,
Second,
any discussion?
No.
Okay, Mr. Stivers,
Aye.
Ms. Landry,
aye.
Ms. Cook,
Aye.
Hamilton is aye. So now I'm going, hang on, let me just stop recording.
Okay, that's exemption 6, Al. I'll note that in the minutes.
Okay, thank you.